So pretty much shot for shot, every shot at Spanish Bay, and I'm going to talk you through it. So this is probably the friendliest of all three Pebble properties. It's the most chill, and it's also the one I think most people have frustrations with, and I'll talk you through why. So the first shot on the links at Spanish Bay is one of the better holes on the course. It's a downhill par 5 that's strategic. You go towards the sea, and as you go to the sea, there's tons of hidden shots with elevation and bump that changes the ball flight. I hit a good pitching wedge in there. The wind greatly impacts your ball flight, but we'll see that more on the back nine. There's 2 bunkers, but this is one of the big reasons people don't like the links at Spanish Bay, is because the greens are like this. It's a true links experience. That was a huge amount of slope that I was playing, and to two-putt that was pretty awesome. But I think that most golfers, especially American golfers, want to play holes that say they're links inspired but are traditionally American inspired golf, so they can score, and links is more about chance. The second hole is a very narrow, short, drivable par 4, but what makes it a great hole is if you hit driver, you bring more error into play, and you could either end up in that pot bunker or out of bounds. I hit a really good 58-degree lob wedge, and I can't believe that didn't drop because that was straight downhill, and last time I played this course it was so fast. The third hole is a really cool hole. It's a dog leg left where you can either take a straight shot down the middle or try to cut the corner. I took my 3-wood since we played from the white tees and cut the corner and gave myself an awesome shot. I had this shot about 88, maybe 95 yards on an upslope, but the factor that I struggle with is the wind. So it's really hard to gauge, especially when you start your round, how far things will go. I managed to be on the same plane, and this is just a tricky. Watch how much that, you didn't see it, but my friend's putt, it turned a lot, and good par for me. So this has always been an Achilles heel. Some of the par 3s at this course are really hard, and I feel like this par 3 looks very plain Jane and generic, but it's a very small green, and when the pins are in a high location, as they were on this rainy day, it plays a lot more difficult because I feel like this hole, you want to play it like 2, where the slope can move your ball backwards. So that was a bogey for me. The 5th hole is a par 4 that truly is a par 5 for most average golfers. There's 3 bunkers. The furthest bunker is 225 to carry, and I had to hit driver and 3-wood into the wind just to get to the right-hand side of the green, to give you a concept. Now, I'm not the longest hitter, but that's how hard, how much it took for me to get all the way down on this hole. So the wind's going straight into you, and what I noticed, and I didn't pay attention to on this hole was, so this is my par putt, everything seems to break to the ocean, not unlike Spy. So I misread it because I thought I was going to go right to left, and I think everything goes there. I've loved this hole. I'd like to believe that this hole, Sandy, is named after Sandy Tatum, who was a golf ambassador. Beautiful use of bunkers, and it's just a great driving hole to a delicate shot. I hit a great pitching wedge and just got really unfortunate. The rub of the green. There's my ball mark, and then it went down this slope. So look at the shot I have, and you have to take these on the chin and just smile and say, this is why I'm playing Spanish, because there is no way you can really do anything with that, and it's not fair, but you just have to accept it that this course isn't fair. Now, that was a very swipey 4-iron. This hole, the 7th, is a hole where it's very difficult to distance gauge, at least for me. And probably could have even hit a 3-wood. You're playing, there's a hazard that's 220 into the wind where you just got to stay back, and then you want about a 9 or an 8-iron into the green. I just thought I could hit it further with a 4-iron. Didn't get it out, swiped it, and then my 3-wood kind of wasn't well struck, so I still had a 35-yard pitch, and then I tried to spin one in there, and I just didn't quite, well, it doesn't work in the wind. Let's just be honest. Let's not act like I know what I'm doing. And then I had a long, difficult putt, And once again, we'll take that for bogey. Very difficult course. Now, this was one of my big moments of the trip, and I think we all play golf for moments like this. This is an iconic hole. They take advantage of the scenic drive and this waterfront par 3 that always plays about 15 yards longer. It's about 150. I'd say it really plays about 165. Check out my friend Tyson, who golfed with me. He's looking for a ball on the beach. You can hit into the street. Bunch of bunkers. And check this out. Big ridge. I hit a good 7-iron in there. And check this out. This made my day because it's so hard to make a birdie at Spanish, I feel. Maybe for others it isn't. But to make that birdie on an iconic hole, it's just such a good feeling, and it's such a beautiful hole. It really, courses like Spanish and Spy, when you make a birdie, it really feels good because you have to earn them. You're not given them. The 9th hole, once again, is kind of a theme of Spanish where you're just trying to keep the ball in play. Right is out of bounds the whole way, or it's a hazard. I don't know what they technically call it. And left is pretty narrow as well. I guess I missed filming my pitching wedge in, but it wasn't very good, and I hit it to there. And, I mean, I'm not mad that I didn't film it because it was a pretty embarrassing shot. So I had this for par because I left myself a really weird short-sided chip, and then, once again, a bogey. You're not going to see this drive, but holes 10 and 11 at Spanish are actually in tribute. I learned from the marshal, who's a very nice man, in tribute to Donald Ross and the Pinehurst design. So 10, the bunkers that are in the middle of the fairway are kind of a Pinehurst test where you have to go either right or left of your target line. And then both greens, which you're going to see on this hole, both greens are heavily inspired by Donald Ross's use of tabletop and turtleback greens, which are really frustrating for weekend golfers like myself. So this was a well-played hole up until this point. Once again, I should have probably read this better. Kind of got aggressive on my birdie putt. There's a ridge there, and watch what happens. Miss low. My buddy's trying to be a nice guy. Oh, it's good. And it's just like, bye. Off to the races. And this is what I've heard is the Pinehurst experience. Is just like, I had a 6, 7, 8 footer, and now I have a 25 footer uphill, and I got that one coming back. But that was from a birdie attempt to a bogey. Now here's the 11th, which is the other one. I'm really hitting the wrong side of the ball with my driver. Pretty awesome, but at the same time, I'm not paid to play golf, and I'm going with a good attitude. And when you keep a good attitude, like on this hole, position hole, 8-iron, boom, crushed it. Rain is coming. There's like a really college-educated deer going. There's a couple of bunkers that protect it, but this is the turtleback green where every side repels. Rain is coming down because I hit such a good shot, and I just was a little over. And as you can kind of see that there's so much slope, you can actually kind of see it. The rain actually cleared. It was so short, almost chipped in. And once again, such a good feeling. It's a slight dogleg right. For big hitters, you could probably give yourself a wedge in if you want to take on that corner. This hole, number 12, always reminds me of hole 11 at Pasatiempo because it has that barren in front of it. I'm saying a whole lot of words. I missed my approach shot, which was actually pretty good, but that's the ravine. Feels like it's inspired by like a Pasatiempo. And every time I play this course, I basically have the same exact putt. I'm just putting from the front of the green, think I hit further than I do. And the pin, every time I played this course 2 times, it's always in the same spot, high left, and I'm getting more used to it. This is a fantastic short par 5. No, I'm joking. It's a par 3. It's 100 yards. With the wind, it probably played about $1.15. It's a very difficult hole to judge. I tried to take something off of a pitching wedge. Couldn't quite take enough off. But the problem is there's junk down the front, and you can't really go right or left. So you just have to try to get on this green. And with the way the pin was located, being a front pin, it's just very difficult to make a par. A par is a very good score on that hole. Took my bogey and pride. One of the most stunning holes of the course is the par 5 that takes you back to the oceanfront properties. It's really, really a beautiful golf hole. As you just go down this hill, I'm struggling, as you can tell. It's really high winds, to be fair, so it's like on top of like not swinging well and not being the best golfer, I had about 15-20 mile an hour winds in my face, so that is a mental hurdle, but it's a hurdle that I am fully embrace. This was just a bad alignment. I just felt like I was aimed better than I was, and I also didn't strike the ball that well. But to be fair, a lot of wind in my face, up and down for par, and that was a good chip, and pretty rough weather conditions. It's just a straight downhill one. The last time I played this course, I parred it. This time, I didn't. I should have. Maybe if it wasn't raining, that would have turned in on that last rotation. But I will take the bogey. That's a fair one. I'd say the last couple of holes here are the most difficult, kind of like most courses, but this is the most exposed to the wind and the ocean. And because of that, it has some real difficulties because there's no barrier, there's no trees or anything. You're just getting the wind coming through and obstructing the course. I hit a very good drive there. Not gonna lie, I hit a pretty good approach shot as well. It's just a course where two good shots might not always get you the results you want. As I said before, if you play on a sunny day, the course is much easier if there's pins that are in the low position. Playing all high pins in Spanish Bay is kind of like playing Tiger Woods golf on expert mode, because you're just getting pins that are all very difficult in the hardest and highest points, I find. The 16th hole, at least the day I was playing, the wind was coming off the ocean. You have to aim at the sand dunes to even be able to get the ball on the green. So me and my playing partner both hit very good shots, but because the wind is so strong, the ball simply went off on me. Once again, I had a knack for short-siding myself, and it was just a very difficult and scary attempt to try to get that ball in close, because you don't want to have to hit the same shot twice at a course like Spanish with these tough of greens. 17 is a beautiful yet daunting hole. I would say it's one of the most difficult challenges because it's a short position hole, but the wind greatly affects the way the hole is going to play. It moves the ball a lot. It has some of the best views on the course. I feel like it also, at this point, with these views, you also feel utterly beaten down. So my ball got knocked down by the wind, and then I was like, I'm a low ball hitter. I'll try to hit the 58 degree. Wrong. That was the wrong idea. But next time, I know, just take something off a pitching wedge and just try to keep it low and run it up there. Really, really long putts. If you don't like doing long putts, Spanish might not be for you, but if you love using your short game, it's a great course. Fine making bogey there. 18th hole, dreadful drive like you've been seeing for all these Pebble series. Really need to improve that aspect of my game, but guess what? It's a par 5, so I came back really solid. That was a good 3-wood, and I gave myself probably $140 in. I think about $140. Wind was in my face, and I'm like, you know what? I can probably get a 9-iron there. I landed that right on this upslope, and it came all the way back to there. And guys, if you play this, or gals, aim right to the pin if you're where I was, because it breaks towards the ocean. I misread it, and then you hate to see it, but I did it. Finished on a 3-putt. Thank you for watching this vlog. I appreciate anyone who contributes or subscribes or even likes a video. This is a passion project, and I'm just trying to do the best I can.